right, we are getting word just now that Joe Biden has invited Donald Trump to the White House on Wednesday, I believe at 11 a.m. in the Oval Office. They can discuss some things so that the olive branch back and forth continues. We'll stay on that. Of course, this is something that has been so very, very calm transition of power going on right now. We'll see how that all works out. In the meantime, still waiting to see how all these legal cases against the president-elect work out. Many are being dropped or just pushed off, if not entirely forgotten. Tom Dupree, the former Deputy Assistant Attorney General, on what's what and what happens now. Tom, good to see you. How many of these cases do you think, Tom, totally go away?
I think all four of them will go away, Neil. I think the federal cases are the easiest ones to predict because there, as we know, Donald Trump will fire Jack Smith on noon on January 20th, if Jack Smith is still in the position by then. I think there's a good chance that Smith himself will resign and dismiss the cases even before Trump takes office. As far as the state cases go, I think those are also going to go away. The Georgia case has been in a state of suspended animation for some time. I don't see that going anywhere soon. And the New York judge is poised to sentence Donald Trump, but I don't really see that happening, or at least kind of the way that we all contemplated it might happen now that Trump has won the election. I think the judge in New York is going to either have to impose some sort of minimal fine on Trump or simply dismiss the case entirely.
All right, you're talking about Judge Marchand, right? Now, that's the one that could have landed Donald Trump in jail, but it even seemed unlikely had he lost. So I'm wondering what comes of that and whether just the pressure, the reality of the moment combined to make the judge just say, all right, enough. This is not going to go anywhere.
I think there's a good chance that's exactly what he says, Neil. He's already been presented with a request that he dismiss the case entirely on grounds of presidential immunity based on the Supreme Court decision. So that road is open to him. I think another road that's open to him is to say, look, I'm going to let the conviction stand, but I'm not going to impose any sentence. There's certainly no possibility that he's going to impose a jail sentence on Trump. And I think the absolute most that he could do would be some sort of minimal fine and then just bring the case to the end. But look, the election was a game changer in all respects.
You know, Tom, you're a great lawyer, and I don't want to ask you an overtly political question, but you can make a very credible argument to think that all of these cases and going after Donald Trump, whatever you made of them, did look like a pile-on and actually helped him get elected again to the presidency.
I think you absolutely can make that argument. I think that there are a lot of Americans, maybe even people who weren't strongly pro-Trump supporters to begin with, who saw these prosecutions play out and felt that he was getting a raw deal. And it certainly enabled Trump to have a platform. To remember, he addressed the public typically every day after the New York case. He'd come out and speak and hold press conferences. And I think he won a lot of people over, that he was being persecuted, that he was being treated unfairly. And we saw that play out on Tuesday night.
You know, Tom, we talked about Jack Smith and whether he could be fired. Technically, I don't think he's a Justice Department employee who's brought in to handle this case. Is it that simple to can the guy?
Well, it's simple for him to resign. In other words, Smith could either dismiss the prosecution and step down, but Trump could fire him. I think technically Trump would have to direct his new attorney general to do the firing, but he can be fired pretty much instantaneously once Trump takes office. But I don't think we're going to get there. I think Smith will be gone before January 20th.
All right. Now, there's been a lot of talk about from Democrats and critics of the president-elect that he's just going to do to them what he has charged they did to him, weaponize the Justice Department. There's no sign of that as of yet, but what do you think?
Yeah, look, there's no question that that is something that has been on the president's mind. I mean, he was pretty open about it during the campaign. And when he said those things, I think you have to take it very seriously. On the other hand, as we saw during the first Trump administration, kind of what the president wants, the president doesn't always get, at least when it comes to prosecuting people that he views as his enemies. I think one thing we'll want to keep our eye on is how he fills the top ranks of the Justice Department, because, you know, at least in theory, these are men and women who will bring their own independent judgment to bear as to whether there should be prosecutions. And so Trump may want these people to be prosecuted, but at the end of the day, he is going to have to find people in the Justice Department who examine the evidence and who agree with the president that charges are appropriately brought. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Indeed, we're not there yet. To your point, Tom, great seeing you again. Tom Dupree, lawyer extraordinaire, and then some.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.